Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Own Your Spark, a place where I create engaging content that is meant to help you become the best version of yourself. But let's face it, there is no way we are going to become the best version of ourselves when we are stressed out, when we are worried, and this is exactly what's going on right now. Yeah, so there's so much we can do during this time that is going to make sure that by the time that is going to help us to get out on the other side better people. This is time to bond with our children. Those of us who live with our kids, this is time to bond with our kids, because when you think about it, when they were old enough to go to kindergarten, they left our lives. They went to school, and our kids keep growing. They continue to grow without us knowing who they are and how they are. The distance between our children and us becomes really big because we don't know them. We don't live with them close enough to understand the things that make them who they are, where they're getting their ideas about life, where they're getting their thoughts about life, their perspective and beliefs about life, where they're getting that from. Because there's a world out there that is willing to feed them with information, a world out there that is willing to just corrupt their minds. And this is the time to foster a relationship with them. It's a time to foster a relationship with our parents. Those strained relationships that people have with their parents. This is time to bring that together, because nothing that fuels or creates glue between relationships like trauma. And these are times when we worry and you think, you hear of people who have lost loved ones, people people who went to church with you, people who are in your social gathering, people who are in your Facebook group or whatever, and those people die. And it just makes you think about, how fragile life is. So this is time to foster those relationships and really make the best of them. This is also a time to connect with yourself. When you think about it, we went to school, and after school we jumped right to work because we were brought up knowing everywhere in the world, we're brought up knowing you get out of school and you get yourself a job, and from there some of us got married, and it just continues like that, and we rarely have time to connect with ourselves and know ourselves and fill our cups and be able to really understand ourselves. Because when we were in school, we had time to figure out who we are. But the truth is, the person you were yesterday is not the person you are today, and is not the person you will be tomorrow. So we need to keep connecting with ourselves, and there's no better time to do that than now. Yeah. And the other thing that I was thinking is that this is the right time to come up with that business proposal that we've always wanted to start. You've always wanted to have a side gig, you've always wanted to start something for yourself. You have all the time in the world, and you have little or no distractions. This is time to actually knuckle down on start working and drawing your vision and your dream, and start doing something good with it. Because when this is over, I hope and pray that you come out the other side a better person. This is also a time for you to clean up your life, and not just on the outside, not just making sure that your closet is finally neat and organized, and your house is clean, and you've cleaned all the stuff that you've been meaning to do, but also on the inside as well. It's time to evaluate the routines that you have had that are really not helping you. It's time to evaluate your habits. It's time to evaluate those things that you believed in that are not and have not been helping you to move your life forward. Okay. But I think we cannot be able to do this if we don't understand how important it is to keep yourself sane. And there's no better place, there's no better thing to keep yourself, there's no better way of keeping yourself sane like practicing self-care. Self-care basically means you putting yourself first. Everything we've been talking about is centered on self-care. It's what makes you put yourself first and makes you understand that in order for you to step out there and be the best version of yourself, something that I highly advocate because that's the pinnacle of this YouTube channel, to become the best version of yourself. Self-care is super, super important. Okay, and self-care means a time like this is the best thing you can do for yourself to ensure that you're giving yourself as much love and putting yourself first and really showing love to your emotional state, is to stop consuming all these negative things. You do not need to know the recent updates on coronavirus every 10 to 15 minutes. This is the best time for you to pray. If you're not emotionally anchored, if you're not spiritually anchored to something, you will drift to any whiff of wind that blows in any direction. And what you need is to keep yourself centered. So this is a time to pray. This is a time to look up to God. This is a time to literally take all your anxieties and your stress to God. Don't let yourself be depressed. Don't let depression and anxiety get the better of you. Find time, lock yourself in your room, pray, trust in God, look up to Him, because He is the only one who's gonna get us out of this mess. He is the only one that will get us out of this mess. That's what I believe in. I also want to ask you to take a look at my new book, SelfCare, which is a simple self-care guide that will help you to get rid of anxiety and stress and give you happiness. It's that simple, because happiness is intentional and happiness is not tomorrow. You can get happy even in the midst of all this. You can grasp happiness, because happiness happens somewhere on the inside, and happiness is not dependent on the external circumstances. Peace is something that you can always find. It's inside you, and if you look inside, you will find it. My book, I'll put a description on the link. I'll put a link on the description box, and you can get it on Amazon. It is only 46 pages. It is a simple book, but it's a book that will open your mind. It will give you strategies, proven strategies, some that I've used over the course of my life, some that have been used by people who have been able to overcome stress and trauma and anxiety, because at a time like this, when the world is full of anxiety, we need to find that place that gives us peace and calm. Yeah, get on to amazon.com. You can order it as Kindle version, and you can order it as well as paperback. Amazon has kind of delayed their shipping process, obviously, because of what's happening. And when you go to amazon.com, you'll actually be able to see they've indicated that. And that book is something that you must get a hold of, because as you figure out what to do, get a hold of that book. As you figure out what to do with your day, get a hold of that book and read it. Read it. It will open your eyes, because the beauty of self-care is that there's no better time to start like right now, because you've got incentive to do it, because we are living in very uncertain times, and you've got all the time. But the better part and the most beautiful part of self-care is that you have the freedom to keep doing it. It's a life changer. It's a game changer. The minute you get into self-care will change your life, because self-care is not just about bubbles. I probably should have said that. It's not about bubbles and candles, and those are all great. Self-care is what you do on the inside. It's getting centered, it's getting anchored, it's filling your cup, it's finding inner balance so that when you step out, you're well equipped, you're strong, and you can be able to take whatever life throws at you. But most importantly, you'll be able to elevate. You know how you feel, because it happens to me a lot. Sometimes I feel like I'm fading away, that something inside me is just fading away and it's just going away, and I want it to come back, whether it's my excitement about life or whether it's my confidence about life. Self-care will make sure that you've got your cup replenished every time you feel like you're going low. Grab that book today. I poured my heart and soul into it, and I wanted to give you value. I wanted to make you understand that it's okay to go through the things that are going through. It's okay. There are things we cannot control, and this is one of them, but it doesn't have to drown you. You can still stand and find your place, and stress and anxiety don't have to get the better of you. There are things you can do, as I said, and you will find much more information in that book. So order your book today and let me know. Leave a review on this channel. Let me know how you feel, how you feel after reading that book. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you don't agree with, because feedback is a good thing. Leave a review on Amazon as well, so that people out there can find help, because these uncertain times, we owe each other to hold the torch. We owe each other to hold the torch and keep it burning, so that the darkness in the world does not overcome and overwhelm all of us. Okay? Have a beautiful